Hi, I'm John Lewis with Shoreline Truck Parts. In this video, we're going to show you how to install an HVAC box in a 1999 W900L. This is a plug-and-play unit. Our part number is K142-535ss-3 with the OEM cross-reference of K142-535-1. Scott at Fine Line Transport is going to help us with this install, so let's go check that out. The first thing that you're going to need to do is evacuate the AC. Next, remove the air intake ducting. These two coolant hoses have to be removed from the heater box. Trace these hoses back to the motor and shut off the shutoff valves. These valves may look different depending on which year and model of truck that you have. Once the valves are shut off, you can then remove the two coolant hoses. This 98 Kenworth happens to have a plastic cover over the heater box. Use a 10mm socket to begin removing the plastic cover. Use a T25 Torx bit to remove the reinforcement bracket. You can now remove the plastic cover from the HVAC box. Use a 10mm socket to remove the 4 fasteners from the lid. Next, unplug the blower motor and remove the lid. In order to remove the air line from the air actuator or air cylinder, press down on the white plastic collar and pull out the plastic tube. Use a 10mm wrench and socket to remove the AC lines from the AC hose belt. Grind off the top 2 bolts that hold in the heater box. Use a 7/8 wrench to remove the lower AC line. Use a 5/8 wrench to remove the upper AC line. Using a T20 Torx head, remove the 3 screws from the glove box. Using a 13mm socket, remove these 3 fasteners inside the cab of the truck. The 3 fasteners are located here, here, and the last one is hidden behind 2 plastic caps. After popping off this cap, you can pop the other cap out with a socket extension. Remove the remaining air intake ducting. Now that all the fasteners are removed, you can use a pry bar to help remove the HVAC box from the firewall. Slip the wiring harness through the back of the box in order to remove the box completely from the firewall.
Pull this harness right out of that hole.
Next, clean up the surface for the new box. Now we are ready to prep the new Shoreline box for installation.
Take out the 4 bolts using 10mm socket. Pull the screws out. Slide the blower motor out.
This is a quick note about the wiring harness. You'll notice that the HVAC unit has a rubber grommet installed in the box. Your truck has rubber grommet installed in the firewall as well. It is easier to slip the wiring harness through the grommet when the grommet is removed from the truck than it is to try to push your wiring harness through that grommet. So we would encourage you to pull that grommet out. This is where the grommet is located. Pull that grommet out, slip the wire through the grommet, and then install the grommet onto the firewall. This should make things a lot easier for you. You can now begin to mount the heater box to the firewall. Use a 13mm shallow socket and ratchet with a 13mm deep socket to begin snugging the top 2 bolts of the heater box to the firewall. And a quick note, we recommend using anti-seize on these bolts. Now going back inside the cab of the truck, we're going to install these 3 fasteners. We don't want to tighten them all the way down as we want to square away the wiring harness and the air line first before we button everything all the way up. In order to unplug the old wiring harness and to plug in the new wiring harness, you must gain access behind this dash panel. There are 2 T20 Torx head screws to hold this panel into place. Unplug the old wiring harness and then plug in the new wiring harness. You can now remove the old wiring harness from your truck. The old air line is connected between this button and the actuator or air cylinder in the HVAC box. You must remove the 4 T20 Torx screws from the AC control to access the old air line. You can then connect in the new air line. This is the air line that returns back to the HVAC box. Press down on the white collar to remove the old line and then replace with the new line. Now that the air line and wiring harness are all plugged in, you can now start to put the dash back together. We'll start with the AC control, the dash panel, and then the glove box. You can now tighten these 3 fasteners down completely. Now going back to the front of the truck, install the reinforcement bracket. Finish tightening down the top 2 bolts of the heater box. Reinstall the AC lines. You can now install the blower motor. Keep in mind that your wiring harness has a black wire and a blue wire with a black stripe. The blue wire with a black stripe is hot, the black wire is ground. Make sure the ground from the truck is connected to the ground on the blower motor. If you reverse these 2, the motor will run backwards and will not blow very hard. Use a 10mm socket to reinstall the 4 bolts for the lid. Reinstall the air intake ducting. Now you can recharge the AC. If you're going to be needing heat soon, go ahead and turn these 2 valves back on. If it's AC season, you can go ahead and leave these shut off. And I want to thank you for watching this installation video. If you have any questions about installation or part fitment, please give us a call at 616-834-1503. Again, that's 616-834-1503. Or you can reach us as well at sales@shorelinetruckparts.com. We look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day, and we will talk to you later.